Welcome back, my little recusants, to another episode of our Final Fantasy X to 100% guide. We are working our way through getting that sweet perfection trophy for getting 100% of the story. And right now, we are going to be going into the Chocobo dungeon. This is a bit of a maze, even with a map. So just try and use this video, and I'll put like an image towards the end of the video, or maybe like the start of the video, basically showing you the layout and how it should look. And then using, well, like I wouldn't, following along what I did was tricky because I just got turned around an awful lot. So I'll just leave that up on the screen there. And basically, you're going to want to use the treasure chests as a guide. So when you first step in, you can jump across here. And there should be a treasure chest on the other side. But basically, there are 5 doors, all parallel to each other. And then behind those 5 doors is a 6th door, and then that door has the super secret chocobo in it. And basically, the chocobo needs all of the other doors opened before the final door can be unlocked. Therefore, getting us this super chocobo and getting us a trophy and getting us some more percentage, as well as an amazing treasure chest in here that gives Rikku all her abilities of her ultimate dress sphere. So that's quite awesome as well. As I say, what hurts more is that the camera angle changes. So you kind of have to be like, okay, keeping track of what all the different treasure chests were, and then the different elevations. So as I say, following me is probably not the most efficient way through here, but I had actually never, been in this dungeon before, and I kind of figured, I have a map. I'll figure it out fairly handy. But as I say, take a pause anytime I open one of the treasure chests and just look for that particular treasure chest just to get your bearings as to where we are and what we're doing, and then try and track the elevation. So like I know that I had to go up there, and there's another kind of chest or platform higher again. So it is just really tricky to kind of keep track of, okay, what exactly and how exactly are we moving through this cave. But once you kind of can say, okay, well, there is the mana spring, so I know if I go up this area and over this area and over that area, and whatever the case may be. And my biggest mistake was jumping down. Dropping down from those particular floating platforms and not going up left really was a big issue, because I thought, I can just jump back on, and then I couldn't. And then again, finding your way back around, you kind of have to just stick to getting to one door and then like sticking to that, and then you don't have to explore that part of the cave again. But when you kind of have to double back and go back and around, and it can just really turn you around quite badly. But as you can see here, here's one of the doors, and this is where I'm like, oh, better get our people into some better gear. So I just popped Unit into Songstress just because I'm like, well, we can at least use Matador Song up our evasion. Why didn't that open? That was really strange. Why did that not open at all? It'll make sense later, I suppose, because I did open them all, so no idea what that was about. But yeah, all of that chocobo hunting for just this absolutely painful maze with no minimap, no nothing. It's just, it's mad, like, and the constant changing of the camera angles just gets you totally disorientated. So like that, here's the Mithril angle, but like, we're obviously going to need to be getting to those higher platforms up above to essentially, you know, get to where we need to be going, so... yeah, it's just mad annoying. Just a really, really annoying dungeon. But once we do it, we never have to do it again. And that's basically my mantra for like 90% of these bloody things. It's like, once I get through it, I never have to do it again. And then realistically as well, guys, like, I've been doing so good with all the dress spheres that, like, once Mascot's done, I just need to collect a couple of blue bullets. And then we'll have all the girls with all crowns. We just need to get the item for Rikku to get her special dress sphere maximized. Once that's done, we'll be able to go back to a special cave for Payne's special dress sphere component. And then it's just the case of making sure the girls all get all the blue bullets, which shouldn't be too difficult. And I'll show you those later on. God, Una is like very flighty with her jumps today. Some stamina springs, very nice. There's also a really powerful accessory in here, the AP egg, which gives you the effect of the Intrepid Garment Grade. Gives you triple AP in a fight. So that should be pretty good. Yeah, so what you're supposed to be able to do is just to run. Oh, yeah, and they open. So anyway, we end up finding a Chocobo Eater. He was like on the prowl for that delicious Chocobo. And here I'm like, might as well just figure out what all these do. And I will say, Riku's eraser moves to like lower their magic and strength is actually quite good for certain enemies. So, won't lie, that's quite good. But unfortunately the Chocobo Eater is able to guard against that, so that's not the vibe. And then we're like, yeah, let's use good old Una and her gun mage to like get AoE heals, AoE shells and stuff like that. But once Una gets her mascot high, her AoE buffs and things to all the party members is just unbelievably high, so that'll be really good. And like that, the boss is KO'd. So that is the first door, and we basically now just need to make sure that all the other elements get sorted. All the other 4 doors get opened. So you have to make sure the second door is opened as well. And then that door straight ahead is the one we need to do. So there's 1 door, 2 doors this side. Need to make sure they get open. And there's another 2 doors the other side of this third one. But as I say, once you get to one, just make sure you open both doors. Don't leave the second door closed. Because it's basically like, you open the first door, there's a treasure chest. And then like the second door also stays closed. So make sure you walk all the way up. Do not miss that second door because you will be in like a big trouble then. Trying to find your way back. So here we go, that's the first one to the right hand side. We get a lovely pixie dust accessory. And now we just have to find a way to get deeper over to the right again. To get that further right hand side one out of our way. And it's the changing camera angles, guys. Like, oh my goodness, so frustrating. But what's handy as well is I have the encounters turned off. And what's an interesting little tidbit just to let you guys know is that I think, well, like, yeah, we looked at it a bit earlier on when we collected all the Crimson Spheres. But the Via Infinito is made unbelievably easier by the fact that the console command turning off encounters overrides the fact that the Via Infinito was meant to keep encounters on at all times. So currently I am just after making my way down to floor 80, which anyone that's done the Via Infinito before knows that floor 80 is crazy. The boss is unbelievably difficult. So yeah, that's that. We'll get there when we get there, I suppose. But again, just trying to make our way over. And once I see a gate, I'm like, thanks be to God, we've made it. And this is over to the very, very far right, I do believe. The ABCs of repair. That's another version of the repair manual that we could repair the experiment with if we hadn't already beaten it at max level. What I would be curious about is if we could repair it again, but I really don't think so. I would imagine if they've realized, oh god, we actually probably were very nearly too dangerous to let that Machina run free. I doubt they'd let you to, but it would be a funny instance to be like, yeah, let's repair it and fight that level 5 monstrosity again. Could be good if you missed out on the super annihilator move for your gun mage. But of course we did not. And again, these changing cameras, I'm like, oh my god, which direction am I meant to go? And at a certain point, I literally go, okay, let's just get back to the Chocobo Eater area. And then I can just go backwards from there using the map. I think since I'm I'm going through certain things, I might actually just leave the overlay very faintly of the full map the entire video. And then at certain points just be like, you're here. We're now moving down from, you know, this one. And we've unlocked the gates of this one. And so on and so forth. So this is the central one. That's the gate that we're wanting to get rid of. We know that this is the central one because there's no treasure chest. Because we just had to fight the Chocobo Eater. So, coming back from Chocobo Eater. Jump across, run down. Climb up. Go to the left, I want to say. And then down. It's all these different changing of perspectives. And then down again. And around that corner. Up this way. And then I'm checking my map and I'm like, yeah. Jump. Climb up this thing. And this is where I fell down to get that treasure chest, and that was a big mistake. Oh, no. Don't make this mistake again! And then I'm like consulting the map and I'm like, oh no, I think I have to go like left. And then I'm like, yeah, so this is this part of the map. It's just now a confusing time, guys. But hopefully with the map and like using little key pointers to be like, okay, this little cluster of 3 areas. Because there's numerous other areas that are literally like, you know, we're not going to give you a map either. So this is that bunch of like changing perspectives. But I'd say once we get Rikku's ultimate dress sphere accessory, we'll be laughing. Yeah, my problem is I need to get over to on those little bricks and then jump to the left. That's what I needed to do. It'll just take me a moment to figure it out. Any second now. It's just that moment where it's like, which parts do I cut out? Because if you lose track of where I am now, you'll never come to grips with it. So this treasure chest contains 2 shining gems. So then I believe the other one we need is again further to the left hand side, and then that should be all of them gotten, which would be brilliant. But again, just, oh wait, don't forget the door! Go back for the door, Una, please. And then I went, oh yeah, probably should open that other door. So from the shining gems, we're going to run back. And then the whole thing was I just had to keep on the high elevation and not lose the high ground when it comes to trying to jump over to that other side. So yeah, I just need to be up on those higher platforms. So let's go that way now, and hopefully we will get there without too much pain. I wouldn't last in the scouts anyway. Orienteering is definitely not my forte. But yeah, it's just those little boxes, and then I'm like, I can't jump that way. How do I get there? And then it's just literally watching the snaking of the labyrinth round. I'm like, I just need to get to that one, and instead of jumping down, jump left. That would have solved, like, you know, with the benefit of hindsight and looking back over the video, obviously you're like, oh, it was so obvious. But as I say, the boss wasn't too bad. And what I will say as well is, I felt so dumb because I was training myself, because at certain parts of the Via Infinito, it seemed like there was unavoidable Megatomberries, and we fought a few Megatomberries. They're absolutely awful, even at like max level. By the way, I got to max level, which in hindsight again was a massive mistake, because I ended up, now that I am kind of snookered out of getting some handy accessories in the monster arena, because I now can't level up my fiends because the girls are all max level. But however, we're not going to stress, because they don't count towards our 100% completion. But I actually was training in the monster arena to fight Megatomberries, and through like sheer force of will and like using X potions and using break HP limit and all this different craziness, and the HP limit breaking garment grid is actually from here, so really good that I picked it up. But the whole issue then was I was training and managed to beat these Megatomberries. Actually managed to beat a Megatomberry like 4 or 5 times in a row, and then I was like, excellent, this is brilliant, we have a strategy. And then I like look up basically how do you get through these particular cloisters and things, and it turns out you don't even need to fight the Megatomberry at all. And I just got so livid. I was like, I trained and I prepped for this, and it literally was completely useless. And oh man, I was just so sickened. But yeah, here we go. And then don't jump down, jump to the left. Go left, Una, go. And then with that, we can actually come upon our lovely AP egg, I believe, is near here. Yeah, I think it's just down here. So yeah, just making the way downtown, walking fast, faces pass, and I'm homebound. Sha-na-na-na-na-na. Yeah, the AP egg, super, super awesome. And then here is the final door. And we get Riku's key item, the Machina reactor. And then with all of these secondary doors open, we're able to go to the final door, find the golden chocobo, get an amazing little cutscene, and then get our font of power garment grid. And that's going to be the episode, guys. So listen, bit of a less of a guide and more of a let's just journey through this chaos together. But as I say, the overlay should be there, giving you a bit of a hand. And that's going to be the episode, guys. Have a good one. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
So this is the amazing chocobo?
Looks pretty choco boring.
Well, it's choco bolting!
Don't go! Good girl. That's right. You don't have to be afraid as long as I'm here. Come home and live with me. I'll take you to your friends.
Aw, they're choco bonding.
Clasko would be pretty amazing if he only learned to do things himself.
They make a cute couple, don't you think?